It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day, and it is Walkabout Wednesday in my late July, I guess, yeah, late July succulent garden. And it's been a minute. As you know, I think most of you know, Bentley passed away last month, and it's been really hard. So I've been a little MIA. Oh my God, is that Hannah's bong? It is. Apologies. Anywho, yeah, wow. And in addition to Bentley passing away of old age very peacefully in his sleep, my brother died. My brother died the day before Bentley died. And then two of my dear friends have passed away, and another family member. It's just been a lot. It's been a lot. And then we had a raging wildfire up at the ranch right after we left that threatened our property for a couple of weeks. So, yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for being there for me and for our family. It has meant a lot. A whole lot. So we will carry on, won't we? I haven't spent hardly any time out here since last month, so I'm not sure what to expect on this walkabout. Oh dear, detritus in my glass. That's something I never allow. It's been hot too, but look, I mean, so far so good. Everything looks good. I mean, even my collectibles that typically require some TLC look great. You're probably going to see some weeds and some detritus because, like I said, I have not been out here to do much of anything. I've sat out here occasionally and I've read a book in the oh God, look at this giant weed. I've read a book in the egg chair and enjoyed, just sitting, but ugh, I've got work to do. Look at all of this detritus, all these leaves. Oh, and this cactus looks a little weird. I better figure out what's going on there. I don't know. It's listing badly. This piece might be rotten. We'll see. I'll add that to my list. Most of the echeverias, are pretty sad right now, aren't they? There's a lot of dead leaves at the bottom, and this guy's feeling a little limp, despite the fact that he's got some nice dappled shade right here. But that's kind of just nature of the beast, isn't it? Like, look at this stand here. Look at all that view. Good grief. So, yeah. Weeds back here. The Echeveria harmsii, these are getting ready to bloom. And my pink witch, oh my gosh, look at my pink witch. It is this aeonium. Remember, aeoniums are summer dormant, so this is really typical for them to just close up shop for the summer. And, I'm like, what do I do? Should I move them? And I'm not. I'm just going to let these ride. I want these to get tough. And I think they're going to be okay. Like I said, the temperatures, it's been warm, but it hasn't been stupid hot. So if they can't handle 80 plus degrees, then shame on them. I got spider webs. I got pine needles. Ugh, right? The aeonium crest, the mother is looking stunning. All of the little cresty parts are looking very toasty. But again, 'tis the season. The mangave that ate Vista is on the loose. My gosh, this thing, out of control. Look at how it is just completely covered up my phallus. And on that note, look at this. The aluaudia is throwing off a bunch of branches. And I don't know how I feel about that. I like the idea of it just being a single. I don't know if I want a bunch of branches, but I'm gonna let it ride and we'll see what happens. I can always crack them off, or some of them off. You know, any ones that I don't like, I can just cut back to the trunk, no problem. This gigantic mangave has some pups, and I just, you know, I should have got at this sooner, because I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing now. There's just no way to really work with it without seriously damaging the plant. So I guess we'll just let it ride, won't we? Yeah. Moving on. Moving on. This is looking pretty. The Crassula argentea sunset. This Ruchia still looks good. All of these Setivaria look good. This Euphorbia looks good. It looks like I definitely need to deadhead these Setivaria. The Setivaria are holding up a lot better than the Echeveria. They're just a little tougher, I think, a little thicker leaved. See, here's a Setivaria with its big fat leaf, and then right underneath it is an Echeveria with a thinner leaf, and I think that's why these look perkier in the heat, and the Echeverias look a little sad. Oh goodness. Okay. Trigona looks good. This is a plant that always concerns me because, you know, it can get scale. In its crevasses very easily, but it looks good. This is a great spot for it. Tons of light and air circulation here, so I've never really had a problem with that one. The Graptivaria Fred Ives also looking rough, and look at all these leaves on the, you know, that have fallen off. Yeah. This looks super stressed, but again, it's okay. It's stressed, but it's all right. My Ramosissima here is absolutely gorgeous, and it just keeps growing. I love it. It's such a phenomenal collectible plant. Thank you again, Gordon, for gifting me that beautiful creature. And my pride and joy, my Agave attenuata variegata looks great. And she, as you know, had babies. And I haven't done anything with the babies. I've just been letting it ride, and you can see them back here. Look at them. They're getting big. That's fantastic. Just letting those continue to live, letting them grow until I decide specifically what I'm going to do with them. Then I will crack them off and harden them off and plant them or gift them or whatever. This brings me a lot of joy. All my collectibles down here. I love this. And when the grandkids get bigger and are as interested in playing in the sand, I think that my terracotta collectible collection will spread out considerably. But for now, I'm just enjoying these beauties. The Pachypodium Lemerii crest looks fabulous. And look at this, my little snowflake. Remember, this guy just went completely toes up, got rotted, and I lost it, all but a couple pieces. But those couple pieces are thriving. I've got, look at this, I've got all kinds of little babies right here. So I think this is going to make a solid comeback. And it is really hot right here, let me tell you. Now this cotyledon, I'm not loving that anymore. It's getting woody and not looking great. It's starting to cover up my beautiful variegated agave here and my tomentosa, Kalanchoe tomentosa. You can hardly see that anymore. This might be something that I do something with at some point. But right now it's okay. It's kind of shading things. You know, my agavoides, Echeveria agavoides, they're not real lovers of the heat, so they're struggling a little bit, and I feel like this is offering a little bit of protection. My Tongaensis has, oh my gosh, it's grown by leaps and bounds this year, and it's starting to throw off some serious shade and really turning into a tree. I'm very proud of it. Okay, then this is the Lavender Lady. I did a video where I transplanted this a couple months ago, and it's looking great. My beautiful Bacarnia recurvata is also growing. All of my mammillarias are looking good. The Bracteosa is looking good. The Wickensii, aloe's not looking the greatest right now. And look at all of the oranges that fell off the tree. And I've got just a big crappy mess back here to deal with. Look at all of poor Bikini Bottom. Look how sad. Bikini Bottom does not look great. Easy fix though. And my Gymnocalacium looks amazing. Very, very happy with that. Okay, moving on around. I took all of the crests off of this ghosty, and they were prizes. You know, when we did our live succulent tapestry, I gifted these, and it's recresting. I mean, look at this one. Isn't that stunning? But these ghosties are starting to take over the world and covering up my perii too. So I'll have to figure that out at some point. This is a very, very hot corner of the garden, but it's hanging in there. I'll take a peek over here at my favorite area. This just little tiny section of garden, like 2 feet by 2.5 feet. It always makes me happy how it has just stayed beautiful from the get. These collectibles up here look good. Everybody's happy and thriving here. The succulent chair, you know, considering it's a hot summer, is looking pretty good. I beheaded my sea dragon and moved it over to the shade to Rehab. I didn't want it in the blazing sun while it's rerooting. So we'll check in on this later. I don't want to disturb it right now, but we will check in on it and see how it's doing and how it's progressing with roots. You will note that the spiral is underneath the potting bench. Remember when I caught this plant rotting? It was right before we went up to the ranch this last time, and so I did a video where I cut it, took out all the rotten parts, and then I put this in the garage to harden off. And it was in the garage for about 3.5, 4 weeks while we were up at the ranch. And when we got back from the ranch a couple of weeks ago, I moved it out here and I put it in the shade so that it could start acclimating to more light. And then very, very soon I will pot it up and I will do a video on that. Okay. This has been interesting, watching my Mangave pineapple punch. I have a couple of these in the garden. I'm obsessed with the color. And it seems to kind of want to close up a little bit, which is interesting, that growth habit. I don't know, compared to, say, this sea dragon right back here that keeps a very, floppy open presentation. This one is far more upright. So that's interesting. Not good or bad, just interesting. And this little corner is such a delight. Except these leaves, not so delightful. But, really, this is so hot. The Ruchia is thriving. Even this crest, which I was kind of concerned about because it gets full sun, it's totally fine. My Regionae compacta is fine. Even these agavoides here are hanging in there. And you can see this Harmsii ruby slippers is a little closer to opening in flower. I'll show you when it's done. I'll show you how to handle this plant because after it blooms, it doesn't look good. So I'll show you what to do with that too when the time comes. Over here, Ursula is growing and looking fabulous. And all of these plants down here are thriving and happy. That white pot is where I'll be replanting that spiral cactus. But this corner, this is really, get out of the Sorry about the shadows. It's kind of a hot time of the day, but I just needed to get this in the can because I've been putting it off because I've been so emotional, and I just was feeling brave, so I wanted to get it done. So please forgive the light. But this corner's a hot mess, isn't it? It does not look intentional anymore at all. So one of these days, we're gonna have to get in there and tear in like this mangave. Look at all those pups. That needs dealt with. The lemon suffered tragically while I was gone at the ranch. It didn't get watered on schedule, so it was very sad. But it has made a comeback over the 3 weeks or so since we've been back. And yeah, I'm excited to see it green up and the new leaves and all the fruit set. So I'm confident that it's going to be just fine. And then the grapefruit. I have two, guys. Look, there's one grapefruit and two grapefruits. So yes, I know, look at the dieback here. This tree is so tragic, and it's being eaten alive by the graptos. But I don't care, it's fun. I'm not a big grapefruit person anyway, so I grow them pretty much just for fun. So we're just going to keep hanging in there with the grapefruit tree. This pot gets fertilized and watered quite a bit. And it's an interesting experiment too, to see how the succulents respond to fertilization and heavy water. So if that tells you anything, there it is. And my falling waters, it bloomed 2 months ago. I just cut the bloom spike off, and I'm just letting it ride until it looks like crap, because it still looks good. So happy with that. And so that's about it, guys. That's the update. It's not as horrifying as I thought. The garden actually looks pretty good, all things considered. Thank you again so much for your patience while I've been away grieving the loss of my dear friend Bentley. And I know that you all are grieving too, because I know that he was also important to you guys and a big part of this channel. So my condolences to all of you, and thank you for being my friends and my family. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with Walkabout Wednesday and your succulent tip of the day. Bye, guys.